like to welcome you all to a 310 brake horsepower Corsa Vxr. Now, as a kid, as a 19-year-old, I wanted one of these so bad. In fact, my mate bought the exact car I wanted off the Vauxhall forecourt back in the day. Standard, you know, 187 brake horsepower, whatever they were. This one, 310. It's a club sport, but with a difference, because although these are a little bit lighter, they've got Bilstein springs, they've got a trick diff up front, nothing can compute to how much power this thing actually has. I cannot tell you how crazy it is to put 310 brake horsepower through the front of one of these. Insanity is what it is. So much so that I love the idea. I know these get some stick, these cars, don't get me wrong. But this one, as I let a Prius out, go. Yep, typical Prius owner, don't know what bloody hell's going on. This has got a stage 3 paddle clutch as well, which is interesting. It's an interesting thing. Won't go in a straight line. Won't go in a straight line. Do you know what it feels like? It feels very old school, this. You know your RS Turbo? I'm not saying it feels like an RS Turbo. I'm not. I'm just saying, you know that feeling of uncontrollability? It's what that feels like, this car. Because you go anywhere near that throttle and that KO4 Turbo kicks in, holy bejesus, it absolutely just sends you, although it has an LSD, into any tree. That tree, yeah, I'll have that tree over there. Yep, there it is. Whee! That's a prime example right there, and I'm holding on to the steering wheel. It is like a general fight to keep this in a straight line, but my God, when it does, what a machine that the Regal Autosport dudes have created here. It is, I'm going to say savage, because it actually is. It is full on crazy, this thing. The last one of these I drove was, you know, relatively stock 200 brake horsepower. You'd shove another 110 brake horsepower through it. And yes, to all the people that know their Corsas and their VXRs and stuff, this has an uprated gearbox, so you can deal with it as well. So happy he's driving this car, because he always wanted to know what a big power, you know, big power 300 brake through one of these, that is big power. He always wanted to know what one of these is like to drive, so I am finally driving something that as a lad I always wanted to drive. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea and I understand that, and we're just out to have a laugh in what is an incredibly powerful Corsa. So what's it like to drive? A handful is the word. Bloody hell, it just is. If you're not on the ball, going to hurt you. You can point it in a certain direction, and the second that boost comes on, it's like this. Second gear, we're on a straight road. Wrong side of the road. Wrong side of the road. That way, we're going that way. And that's only a 2,000 RPM rev range that I'm using. It just literally points you in whatever direction it wants to go. Not necessarily what you want to go. And that is a fantastic thing, and I'm not complaining whatsoever about this car. I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome that the stupidity lies in the crazy drive, the fact you have to grip the steering wheel. So third gear, bloody Nora, it is sending you wherever it wants to go. I love that. I love the idea that it is so crazy that it spins and it's just trying to put you where it wants to go, rather than you saying, no, we're going this way, because that just doesn't happen in this car. It has been properly built though. The gearbox is properly built. Now I'd like to thank the guys at Wet Patch Win. I'd like to thank the guys at Haven't Car Company for letting me take the keys to this thing, because when I saw it on the forecourt I was thinking, okay, so what you've done is you've put 310 brake horsepower through the front wheels of a Corsa Vxr, which is craziness. So we have a lovely picturesque B road to go down. Yeah, whoa. does not mess about. In all seriousness, this is a fast car, very fast car. If it can put its power down, it is ridiculously fast. Yes, you're going to spin on the front wheels. A lot of the ST guys and the RS guys know full well that putting power through the front wheels is a challenge. This is exactly the same thing. Third gear, 50 mile an hour. It just wants to throw you about, and that's actually part of the excitement on this one. And I know that sounds really weird, but I love the grit your teeth excitement and grabbing the steering wheel. So second gear at 30 mile an hour. Your old school cars did that to you. Remember back in the day in like the 90s and the RS turbos were running silly power and they used to scoot all over the road and scare you. This is just the new age version, and a lot of people saw past that. They saw the gearboxes that, you know, from the factory weren't that good. This is an uprated one. It's fantastic. If you're going to buy a big power Corsa Vxr, uprate the gearbox straight away. That is a fundamental selling point of this car, is the fact that it's got that gearbox in it. Secondly, it feels old school. It's a new school car, but it acts old school. There's so much turbo noise, as you can hear. If you shut your eyes, you could think you're in something older. You really could. So guys, let's have a look around this Corsa Vxr. Now, as you can see from the title of the video and the reaction on my face, this is a 310 brake horsepower Club Sport Corsa Vxr. Now the Club Sport means that these were a limited run. They came with Bilstein springs, they came with different wheels. It has the Drexler, hope I've said that right, Motorsport LSD in the front of these. But coming up, the amount of money that's been spent on this car is insane. So let's go to the front, because as you can see past this front wheel, there is an 8-pot, yes, 8-pot on a Corsa K-Sport big brake kit, which looks absolutely stunning in this gold colour. Really like that. Coming down, you've got the Club Sport badging and general, you know, pretty much normal Corsa Vxr. When you come around to the back, put the twin exit on, it's being a Club Sport, so it has this better diffuser, I think, with just this nicer twin exit exhaust system. It has the Cobra exhaust systems as well. Coming around, there isn't a lot to talk about with the outside of this car. It is all down to what is under that bonnet. So coming under the engine bay, okay, not a lot to look at, do not get me wrong, but under here we have a 310 brake horsepower fully forged engine. It has the 79.5mm Wasner pistons with PEC conrods. It's got a KO4 hybrid turbo setup with 613cc injectors. All of that goes down into a 3-inch Cobra exhaust system with a decat. So yeah, a lot is happening in this engine bay, and that is definitely the kick in the nuts that the Vxr Corsa needed. Pushing over 300 brake horsepower in this thing is absolutely insanity. So I think concluding this video by stopping and just pulling over and having a moment more than anything is that I'm glad that I took this one out today. I really wanted to see what a 300 plus brake horsepower Corsa Vxr was like. It is absolutely mental. I know a lot of people aren't going to like the fact that it does feel very old school. The way the power comes in, it peaks really quickly and you are holding on for dear life. This has got an LSD and some really good Toyo tyres on the front of it, but you're still going to lose traction. You know, it's a front wheel drive hot hatch. It's going to happen. I think if you're going to buy one of these especially, make sure the gearbox has been done. Make sure piston 4 and all the other pistons are happy. There is so many of these on the market for literally nothing these days that to find a good one is hard. Prime example behind me is of a good one. It's had a reconditioned, uprated gearbox. It's had a full engine rebuild, forging, bigger turbo, everything. And if every single Corsa Vxr could be like this, they would not have the stigma attached to them. That's the way I see it. This is a prime example of how good a Corsa Vxr could be. As ever guys, thank you so much for watching. Check out Haven't Car Company. They're the ones that gave me the keys to this today. Massive thank you to those guys. So if you're looking to buy one, get one like this. This one is a prime example of how good they could be. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.